Record. Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. Back into the realm of MFS. So how's everybody doing? Angelica, Judith, Steve, anybody else here?
Oliver.
Oliver. Hey, Oliver.
Hello.
The gang's all here.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. So we were
Always
just...
nice to see you. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
And Brittany.
We were just starting to talk about what's happening around the world, and what's it going to take for us as humanity to learn our lessons. It's
Yeah, and I was saying, are we doing our best? Are we being the change we want to see? And then I said, I feel it's more than enough for me to do the best. I would be content doing my best. I know I can do better. I know I can always do better. And I would definitely be happy just knowing that I have done my best, because I don't even if it's like I'm making mistakes, but I still, learning and improving and growing. I believe it's we want to be content doing our best, but the thing is we're not doing our best, and that's the truth. We have to face ourselves, and we can do better.
always room for improvement.
Do you have to be perfect? No, but you do your best, because the environment will always kind of give you different challenges, for you to grow. So no, it's not going to be perfect. This is life, and just by knowing that I have done my best today, I think sometimes, I was thinking today, sometimes, I know I get stressed, and some people would tell me, you look stressed, maybe you need a vacation, or even at work, are you going to take a vacation? People ask, and I'm like, I don't see the point. I really don't see the point of taking a vacation, because it's not going to make me feel my best, like I have done my best, Are you going to do your best by going for vacation? Not me.
It's a good time out to recharge. That's all.
It's a time to run away from your responsibilities.
No.
So for
I'll tell you down here, we haven't seen the sun maybe one day a week with what they're doing between. There's no natural weather left anyway. So
yeah.
Last week, there had to be 30 freaking trails in the sky.
Mm.
Yeah.
So this was like this 2 years ago, and I went to Florida for 10 days. I'll tell you what, it made a big difference, because the sun, I was in the sun.
Yeah. Still,
you gotta recharge.
It's okay, but you can also recharge in your own home and just resting more and putting away the responsibilities. But I feel, still, even if I am home, I feel like I really want to catch up with manage my life better. This is what I feel is lacking. Managing our lives better, so you can have rest all the time, not be overwhelmed by responsibilities and this and this and that, and have to worry about this person and that person and yourself, and just managing our lives better. I think that's very, very important. And meditation comes, is part of this, where you just calm yourself down and look at life, not just be trapped in the routines.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Melinda.
Yeah.
We just started.
Yeah.
Susan, you're also from down under, I believe, right? And Judith, are you guys in a safer area?
Susan is here.
Susan's in the States?
I know, she's, I think,
Utah. She's in Utah.
Utah. Oh, okay, Utah. I was thinking somehow Australia, but anyway, I get confused with all people.
So who is in Australia? Melinda?
Judith.
Judith,
yeah, I know Judith. Yeah. Judith, I saw a photo of you on the beach today. You're enjoying the beach.
Oh yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm the
on a good side of Sydney.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at a safe part where I don't have
Thank God.
any issue with the fire. So I'm quite lucky. And then yeah, it's been really, really hot. Like we had 45 degrees yesterday, so
Wow.
I needed to go in the water.
Yeah.
Like it's just becoming way too hot. I can feel the difference from a few years back on how Australia is becoming, summertime are just becoming hotter and hotter, and then we're getting more of the bush,
Mhm.
that fire stuff coming earlier every year and then lasts longer as well. Like years ago it was probably, something for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, then it was done. But I just feel like every year just getting worse and worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse.
Mhm.
Yeah.
From that video I posted, looks like it's all by design, but I don't know, who really knows the truth. Something's going on. These things are part of nature, and the Aboriginals used to do like their own bushfires before the season would start to keep it under control, and they've been doing it for hundreds or thousands of years. Now that our civilization has taken over, this is what happens. It's civilized.
Yeah. But I think as well, there must be, for me, I really feel like there's a part of the government not wanted to be the best to stop these things going on for that long. I know it may sound strange, but this country is a rich country and the government have a lot of money. So I just don't understand how come, even like, taking helicopter and then go from the top of all those fire and then try to do something that way. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's anything they're getting from it, but I just feel like that there's much more stuff that we could do, or at least the government could do, but they don't do it.
Yeah, as that fellow, I can't remember his name, he said they had those plane scoopers, right? They go into the open bodies of water, and
Yeah.
they haven't implemented them, from what he said. They haven't used
No.
So like, what are they doing? Like, anything can help. So who knows
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
what's going on? Who really knows? We got to focus on the change, guys. We can spin our heads around in circles talking about this stuff. It's not nice what's happened, whether it's natural, man-made. We don't understand it if it is a natural thing, but nature does do these things on its own. At this scale, I don't know. We really don't know. We don't have firsthand information, and we can only speculate. But if they're cutting off all the water supplies and everything's drained and everything, it looks like something's going on. So
You can't ignore it either.
Sorry?
We can't ignore it either.
Right, exactly. You
I
can't.
mean, I don't know. So how do you?
It's up to us, the people, as people,
Yeah, no,
stand up for this
I
stuff.
know that. But,
Government ain't gonna do it.
well, they're the cause of it. The powers that be. It's incredible.
So much corruption all over the world.
Is money gonna put out those fires? No amount of money is gonna put out those fires. It's got to be the people, the power of the people to make that change. And where do we start? We have to start somewhere. So, the thing that we can do with, if you really understand the power of intent and emotion, which is actual creation itself, is if we have truly a mass amount of people putting that energy and through their heart, feeling that rain pouring, thunderstorms, smelling the air, just before the rain, feeling the rain pouring all over the ground there, see the mud part, you start actually feeling like it's already happening. It has to happen. This is creation. And how do you get people to come to that understanding? I remember there's a guy here from Toronto. I don't remember his name. He was a stunt guy. And he got into working with Marcel Vogel crystals. If you know that, I mentioned his name before. He was a genius at IBM, and he worked with crystals. And he came up with this design crystal cut in a certain precision way. And you can use this crystal for many different things. And do you guys remember there was a drought in California? So he was he put up a fundraiser thing for him to go to California to make it rain, and he ended up going, and he made it rain with his crystal. I was still looking for the video, but I can't remember. So you know, it's and I was also posted. If you look in the Canadian government website, they have the Weather Modification Act. So you don't have an act if they're not doing this stuff. They put acts in place when things are happening, you know what I mean, to control it. They've been doing this stuff a long time. It goes way back.
The patents go back to the late 1800s, actually.
Yeah, see, the U.S. has probably got the similar, and around the world. They you know, people don't pay attention to this stuff. Why would they make an act to control the weather if they didn't know how to do it? No. They figured out how to do it, and then they had to put the act in place. This is the way it works. They come up with the laws afterwards, or they make the laws, you know, and then they do it. But
There's a fellow I listen to every Saturday. He puts out a podcast on the geoengineering, and he right at the beginning he always plays a excerpt from a speech that President Johnson made back in the 60s, 70s, whenever it was. And it's talking about controlling the planet's cloud layers. And Johnson, I mean, you could write in the speech, he said, he who controls the weather controls the world. So it's real. No question.
Yeah, they're doing it through their geoengineering and different things and frequencies and all that. If we come to the understanding that none of that stuff comes close to the power of intent and emotion, none of it, because all that stuff comes through intent and emotion in the sense of greed, balance creation will always be able to overpower and bring balance to that. Yeah. And this is where they are masters at controlling the masses into believing that they have no power.
Yeah, and they are in power.
And that's why they can get away with doing all this stuff, you know, if that's what they're doing. So we have to come to the new understanding.
Belief at the end of the day, I feel, you know, if you believe you have enough power, then you do. Well, if you don't, you feel someone else has power over you, then they do.
Well, look what happens with people who've done along MFSs, for example. Look at the massive transformation that's taken place. That's all done through intent and emotion. What's it done through? Yeah, you're drinking some juice, this, that, and everything. It's all done through the intent and emotion. Allow the soul to kick in, does its work in autopilot, blah, blah, blah. And then people come out of that and they're going, okay, now I have to live my life. So what am I going to do now? And that's where they lose control because they're not ready for that massive change. And this is where, you know, we continue to say this is a lifestyle, live it, love it, and choose a level that you can love,
yeah,
you know, and live it.
The belief system has so much to do with the success on the master fast. You know, believing that we can be balanced on it as a lifestyle, you know, allows us to be balanced on it. If we feel that it's impossible to live it, it's going to be impossible to live it. Yeah.
Even after a massive transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Like many people would believe in an event, but they cannot believe for long term. They can believe short term, but not long term. Many of us, you know.
Yeah, we watch people sitting on the fence for a long time and not doing anything, just different, and
which is great too, because
no, it's great.
And
then they get diagnosed with something, and then what do I do now? You know?
or they come to the master fast after being diagnosed, and they find out about the master fast after, and that's a tough place to be. To have to change your belief system because you were diagnosed is pretty hard, and especially when your body is very, very imbalanced. You have to do a lot of, you know, the belief system doesn't has to change, but you don't have so much time on your plate.
Well, especially when somebody's been pumped with fear. Of course. That's the big,
that their
big,
belief system
big
is
challenge.
even worse.
They're hanging on to that fear.
Not only
And
the physical
one
body.
foot on one side and one foot on the other side, they don't know really what to do, and that's, you know, that's detrimental, because you're not putting all your intent and emotion into it, you know. And I don't see people making it like that. It doesn't work out. I've been doing this 3 decades. I've watched a lot of people pass. They just don't want to make the changes, commit. They'll dabble here and there, and
It's not enough.
it's commitment.
Yeah. Lifestyle.
Make your commitment, and that's it. Don't look back. Just take a peek. That's where it came from. Keep going. I don't want to go back. Keep going.
Without force, take your time, you know, whatever. Choose your level. We have all these levels for different people at different times. So now, honestly, if somebody comes with, I don't know, whatever kind of cancer, and they say, I want my body to heal. So you say, do whatever everybody else is doing, which is choosing your level of lifestyle. I would not tell them to do a long master fast.
There's no point. They're not going to come out of it well.
No. They're not going to change.
That's what most people have shown us.
They're not going to change their belief systems that fast.
It's not going to change that quick.
Yeah, and you know, the body is so sensitive after the fast. It has no room for mistakes, especially when the body is already very, very imbalanced. And so, yeah, so I don't care what kind of cancer or anything they have, any kind of imbalance, I say, choose your lifestyle. If you want to do 2 days a week, then that's your level. And it's up to you. You're going to live, you're going to die. It's not my problem. If you want to go further and allow the body to heal faster, then you have to go for a higher level. Simple. We're not going to lie to them. They have to live it. Yeah.
Oh, never been saying that since day one.
Yeah, but now it's more structured, you know, no more. We're not promoting long
lifestyle. You either get it or you don't. You know, it's I don't know. And Ross is here. Hey, Ross.
Yeah.
He's popping in and out.
And honestly, seriously, I mean, I feel like, you know, we do talk about the world's problems and the government and this and this and that, you know, and the healthcare system and the educational system and all that stuff. But I feel like just be the change you want to see.
Yeah,
you know,
all
you don't have to go, if you don't want to go to your doctor, don't go to your doctor.
All the focus is there, but we can't be ignorant and just shut it all off, all the crap that's happening. You have to be aware of it. You have to know what's going on.
Yeah, sure, but yeah.
But you don't put your focus on it.
You hear it, you listen to it, yeah, but yeah. You have way more power we have way more power, even as individuals, not only collectively, but also as individuals, because once you change, you will see everything different, right? We see things differently once we change. Like, I feel like it's me and God. This life is me and God. So I change, I do my best, and I know I'm taken care of. If I'm lazy, okay, I have to learn more lessons. But if I'm doing my best.
What does David Icke say? Something, problem, solution? If anybody, how they, anyway, if anybody remembers. They know what they're doing, and we know what we're doing. So,
without any games, it's just you have it. You have it.
The power of Plaf is limitless. We
all have it inside us. We just have to, you know, connect and have faith, you know, that everything is fine. Everything is fine. Just do your best. If you're in Australia, do your best. You know, everything is fine. Just do your best. There's nothing more you can do. And if you know, if I'm here, I'm not happy about something that's happening over there. Again, I should do my best about it. You
know? Hey, Ross, what's happening? So
let's go one
by
one.
Who wants to?
Let's share. Yeah, let's go over. Everybody gets to share. You know, it would be nice to hear everybody. So Steve, how's it going?
Well, I had too much idle time on my hands, so not a good place for me to be. I ended up having a couple of bad days of eating already.
Are you off work? Were you off work this week?
Yeah, I was off too much. Be back on full schedule Monday, so
Yeah, same
I am such a creature of my routine, and I get taken out of it. It affects everything, you know.
You really have to be strong.
But you know, there's, and I'm not complaining or whining about it. I think it was a good thing because I was able to attach some emotion to it this time, or what I was trying to suppress, I should say. I was able to see it for the first time. I was able to see that. Yeah. So there's that, there's that chink in that wall starting.
It's gonna
So,
through.
I don't care about, I mean, I care about the eating, but I don't because all they got to do is stop. So that's no big deal. It happened. But I mean, I did that was pretty powerful for me. Little progress.
The video that Gina posted the other day about the guy healing his skin issue through by letting go of some like emotional kind of trauma.
A few weeks ago,
yeah, exactly. And this is how we want to think about it. When we kind of fall off our routine, do things that we know we can do better. Is it bad? Is it good or is it bad?
It is what it is.
It is what it is because it happened.
Right.
It's actually good. I like to see it as good.
It is good.
Yeah, because it happened for a reason. Nothing happens for no reason. There was something for you.
It's a teaching experience, a learning experience, as long as you're open to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes we're not, and that's fine too. Sometimes we're
6-8 months ago, I would have considered this a failure.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Today, I don't.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of, like yesterday for me was 1 year since the start of the first masterclass.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Such a change, not just the physical, more the emotional.
How is it? You're married and you have kids, but the kids are not living with you anymore.
Nah, they're out on their own.
And how is it going with your wife?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. She does her own thing. I do my own thing. No big deal.
She's supporting. Yeah.
You mentioned a while ago we had some anger stuff. Is anything more come out, or is that?
No, it's actually, I started doing some meditation. Never meditated before, so there's a fella in town that offers class. I've been doing it every Monday night, and that's all. I don't know. It's different. So I'm not, that anger isn't there as much.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We all have anger.
You're purging. It's
yeah.
That's the understanding, right? We're going to purge all kinds of stuff, and when we understand that and we don't hold on to it, it's going to flow out. It's not going to stick around. You're going to let it go.
Well, that's what happened this week. I'm starting to touch those things that I have not wanted to look at.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Beautiful progress.
The first night I went to this meditation thing, it's a group. It's a group setting.
Yeah.
But it's silent. It's a silent meditation. And it goes for an hour, and I closed my eyes, and all of a sudden I heard the gong ring. So the facilitator, he said, "Well, how'd you do?" I said, "I don't know." I just said what I said. He says, "Well, you went somewhere. I don't know where, but you went somewhere." That was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but it was just like that. Like seconds went by.
Timeless.
Yeah. I guess we can use more of these. Huh?
Yeah.
It goes by that fast.
And it helps with what's going on out here too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing.
Of course, this. They've shown it, with reducing crime rates. They've done many studies of that, and many other things. So, of course, that's your intent and emotion. That's all it is when you're deep in meditation. You know.
I've been around this stuff, not this, but in the other group for a couple of decades, and I never even wanted to go near that. Heavy meditation in AA, very, very heavy meditation that's all part of AA.
And you didn't want to do
I
it.
never wanted to go near it. I don't want to. No, thank you.
You weren't ready,
Yes,
right?
the mind opened a little more. That's all. Became a little more willing.
So you did everything except for the meditation part?
Yeah, pretty much. I could never quiet. I always thought it was the thing where you had to have your mind quiet. I never. Racing head
Well, that's why.
such a hallmark of addiction is the racing mind, especially the alcohol and the chemical addictions. The mind just incredible. When I first put all that stuff down, I didn't sleep for days and weeks on end.
Racing.
No, I mean racing. One would come in and it would just, the tape would play, run after it. It would just replay, keep replaying. So I could never shut it down. I thought I could never shut it down to be able to meditate. So I never approached it.
Yeah, that's what
But it has nothing to do with it. I didn't know that.
This is why people go to certain addictions, food, drugs, sex, because it stops that,
keeps
mind
you busy, your
racing.
digestion busy, takes away, right?
I remember those. That was like 5 years too. That didn't start slowing down for 5 years.
Wow. And you made it through.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you found the master fast eventually, so you can learn how to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And quiet.
I mean, yeah, a year ago, none of this was possible. It wasn't possible. So.
Yeah, we are changing.
Beautiful.
Very much so.
Hey, Judith, how are you doing with the master fast? If you're not busy.
I'm doing okay. I'm still fighting with my ego. So I've done. Sorry.
You have lots of stamina.
Yeah, I definitely have. I think my goal right now is to what I'm trying to do, because I've done another how long ago? I think I did like 10 days of full MFS 2 weeks ago. Then I broke it. I wasn't planning to break it, but I just had my pay up. They came out from nowhere. So that was a good sign. Like it's really time for me to do another nice cleanse. Mm-hmm. But I'm just learning, doing step by step and learning not to judge myself. And then when I fall off, not to just beat myself up, because that's just the way I've been functioning all my life. It's just failure. Like I can't, there's no space for me in my life to fail. And then learning as well that is not failing, it's actually learning instead of, instead of taking that like, oh, I failed again. So taking more as a learning lesson and keeping my drive. But I'm still, I decided now in my mind that like a few days ago when I was writing in my journals, and I want to do level 5, because like what I said before, I'm all or nothing. So that's why it took me so much time to just find a level with the master fast where I can be where I want to be, instead of doing another full big one again. But my ego still want to do another one away. But yeah, I did like 3 days. I did 3 days dry. And I just broke it yesterday. And I even went dancing on a dry. I went 78 hours on dry. And I went dancing in a club. It was so, so funny. But it was nice because I had too much energy. And I remember, Gina, you told me, because when I was doing my 5-day dry fast, because I was planning to do 5, then when I was on a fast again, my ego came into it. And then I realized that was not the reason. I wanted to do the 5, was not the right reason. I was just lying to myself. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go to the soul and the heart, and we're gonna stop the fast. So I stopped at 3 days instead of pushing the 5 days. But at the same time, because I always have, I'm like a legume in the morning. I'm just so slow. The more the day pass by, more energy I have. And then like at night time, I have way too much energy. So I decided to go dancing and then see how we feel, with no drinking, being surrounded with crazy people, and then music going loud everywhere. I lasted for hours. But I had a lot of fun because it was actually nice in a way. That was the first time that I went out by myself with no friends. So just getting my energy out on a dance floor. Yeah.
I think you're
and then just
master faster who goes to a nightclub on a 3-day drive.
I don't know, but I just needed it to get the energy out of my body in one or the other. Because if I don't get the energy out of my body, I just get frustrated. Then I start to, feel bad, and then anyway, going just crazy in my mind. But it was really nice. I had a great time, and then it was really funny because no one was on the dance floor. I went there by myself first. Then after probably 10 minutes, boom, I had probably 15 people come around and starting to dance with me that I didn't even know at all. And then after 4 hours, I left because it was just becoming too crowded and too hot as well. I'm starting to get like, I want to drink. And and then I don't know how many drinks I refused. Like, I don't know, I probably had like 15 people who came in and said, oh my God, you should drink. Then I've got a drink for you. I was like, no, I'm fine. I don't want to drink even water. So that was a good experience for me, because I had more fun because I was really into the moment with the music, with myself, and not even looking around who is there, or so. Yeah, it was a very, very, very good experience. And then now I'm back on a full on my face again, but I've been doing 2 days of colon feeding, so I will see if I'm gonna do another one tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you really are, living it, and it's just now maybe a matter of making it a routine, right?
Yeah, but for me, it's too, I have triggers that just like even yesterday when we were on the beach with my friends, and then, like if I don't see, like food can trigger me with like, it's crazy. Like my mind can just change. At some stage I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to get this. I was like, what the F are you thinking? And then it's not even like I want the food. And I came to a stage when I don't feel hungry. Never, ever, ever. It's not when I have the food triggers, it's just emotions. And for me, it's coming from a place of right now, for the last probably 6 months, it's coming from a place of like, oh, poor me, I can't have this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very strange. I don't even know where it comes from. Yeah. Or where did I get that mindset from? But it just feel like I'm, like you said, we feel like we're missing. We know we don't missing on anything. It's completely the opposite. But somehow my mind is still stuck to the can't have this, and I'm feeling sorry for myself. So that's something that I'm trying to work around, and then make it master. Because I feel like if I've got that, no master, but that change in my mind, for me it will be easier to just stay on a lifestyle without having these up and downs all the time.
Yeah. I guess that's where maybe for you the challenges are, because maybe you socialize quite a bit and you're around people who are eating out. That's for sure, you're gonna be like you'll be challenged. For us, we don't do that.
We are our own worst critics, right? We're hard on ourselves. and that we have to learn to be easier on ourselves and just allow things to unfold and take place, because they will.
But maybe, for you, I don't know, but I feel like you have a like very busy social life. So maybe you want either learn how to be happy without, going out so much, or if you, when you go out, learn how to say no, to have boundaries, if you want to go out and socialize with your friends and go to restaurants and stuff. So maybe have boundaries. This you don't want, yeah, you don't want to be easily triggered by food from outside. So find, yeah, don't make it hard for yourself, just find a way to make it easier.
Yeah, I tried last year. Like, I mean, for the first 6 months I arrived in Australia, I tried to, like, I was living the full MFS, but I felt like I was just, I was miserable because I was not going out anywhere. I was not seeing anyone. I was
You're right.
not having a social life. And then, and I realized that that's something as well that I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
I don't want to cut myself.
You're not using it.
Sorry?
When you have all this energy, you're not using it. That's why we get in trouble.
But also the social life.
Yeah.
You want your social life. So honestly, Judith, I believe it's very important for you to make it a lifestyle. When you're working days, maybe make them fasting, master fast, because you're busy. And then maybe on the weekend, make it eating days, and not eating all day, but eating maybe within 3 hours. Okay. So this way, like when you're going out, maybe have a fruit meal before you go out. And then when you go out, make your best choice, with the food, like vegan, raw, if you can, whatever,
Yeah.
But make it a routine. I wouldn't do long fast and long dries and then go back to eating, and sometimes eating whatever I want,
Mm-hmm.
Because my friends are eating this food and I feel like eating and enjoying the experience with them. So I would say get into the shorter ones, which is just a routine of weekly. 5 days a week is deep. It's deep. You'll be releasing a lot of stuff on 5 days a week. But make sure when you're eating to eat lighter. If you can, raw. If you can, then eat. I mean, going out is always hard. It's always hard because there's always oil and salt in the food, so you'll have to be careful when you go out. And
unless you specify, I don't want any oil.
Just tell them I just want
lemon.
a salad. Just give me a salad or something.
Yeah, I do that when I go out, because my thing is I'm not hungry anymore, you know what I mean? So the food addiction, I know, is not coming from a place of anger. And then I enjoy myself. Like sometimes when I go out, I can go, but just have to prep myself mentally. Like let's say for Christmas, we went out and I had orange juice all night. We went for dinner in an Italian place, like for 4 hours. And they had everything from dessert, from everything. And I had only orange juice. So when I prep myself, I can do it. And then I feel like I just need the mindset of stopping feeling sorry for me, thinking that I'm missing on something when I go out, because where I enjoy myself much better when I go out and I don't eat, because I can really be present, and then I can have the experience, and then even the next morning I'm fine. And everybody's half still half drunk from last night and everything, but it's just that mindset of switching to stop feeling sorry for myself, because I'm not missing on anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And in believing that.
Exactly.
It's true, but at the same time, if you want to eat 2 days a week, then make these days with your friends and socially, I would say.
Yeah.
Easier, like let's say we have a Christmas dinner. I'm gonna eat that Christmas dinner. It's easier if I'm gonna eat 2 days a week or 1 day a week. And then I would rather eat on that day because I'm socializing. I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Maybe usually I am okay, but and also it's nice to share the experience with people, right? The experience of eating. That's why you're going out, to share experiences with them, and one experience is the food.
Yeah.
To make your life, I would say, easier, if you're going liquidarian, sure, change your way of thinking and go for an orange juice. But if you're going to eat 2 days a week, then choose the the eating days to be the social days as well. This way, it's easier.
I'm still craving for salt when I want to eat.
Yeah, it's okay.
And that is my big issue, because I mean, I can do the I really believe that I can do any level of the master fast, but when I go back to eat, like if I decide to eat 2 days, I'm not gonna crave for bananas. I'm not gonna. I mean, we have the most beautiful mangoes in Australia at the moment. You can smell them from everywhere. But even that, like a few years ago when I was fruitarian, I was living on mangoes and I was fine. I was satisfied. But now that's why I'm still scared, kind of like I'm still in a stage of being scared, of feeling like I'm missing on something, because even when I want to eat something, I don't want to eat fruit anymore,
Judith,
which is something that I don't understand.
Judith,
I used to thrive on fruit before.
my dear, you don't have to eat fruitarian diet. Nobody's asking you to do a fruitarian diet. But when you break your
Yeah, but I feel like shit if I eat something else.
when you no, it's okay. You're not gonna be eating all day. This is the thing. You see, this is the thing. Okay, the lifestyles, like let's say the level 5, is challenging. Okay, it's challenging to get into. It's not easy. So give yourself at least 3 weeks of, you're gonna do mistakes. 3 weeks, okay, of finding your balance between fasting and eating. Eat 2 days a week. It might take you more than 3 weeks to get into the 3 weeks, to do complete 3 weeks. It's fine. Don't give up. Get up and get back on track. And when you eat, no more than 3 hours a day, because otherwise you will have eating and having craving nonstop. So 3 hours a day, and then finish. And before that, do the tea, do the juice, so you're full when you're eating. You're not.
Yeah.
Then you eat your fruits. Always we break with fruits, and then you eat your vegetables. Raw, preferably. If you want cooked, you can. If you want, sometimes I eat quinoa or chickpeas if I have people over and I'm making a salad and I want to taste a little bit something different. It's heavier. It affects my sleep that day, and it affects me the next morning as well, but it's okay.
The next morning, yeah, I'm the same. That's why I was like,
once I wash it, I'm done. I don't at all. I start drinking the juice again and I'm back on track.
But you don't put any salt or anything, right? Or olives and everything?
No, I put ocean water, not too much. For when I have people here, I put like very good quality salt, but a little bit for them. And so I might have a little bit of that, but yeah, it's best to avoid the salt.
Yeah, but that's my problem. I can't do anything with that salt at this stage.
And the olives, I do black olives, but they're very, like, I wash them very well from the salt. They're still a little bit salty though. I don't overdo it, because otherwise I would feel horrible if I overdo them.
The salt is more addictive than the sugars.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until like the last few months. Realizing that
the grape juice.
Yeah.
You want something different.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Because we're drinking the grape juice, which is sweet. So you want something.
Yeah, but it's so good when you go back to the grape juice. I mean, when I go in and eat something salty and I go back to the grape juice, oh my God, this is so good. And so refreshing. But that's my problem, is like I can do, now realize I can do any level of the master fast, like eating two days a week, like I was planning to. But my problem is being scared of the food, because I know I'm gonna dive into salty food. That is my big issue.
Yeah, you want to get over that fear.
Why are you scared?
So
because I know it's true.
Yeah, because you have to success on it. But honestly, give yourself, be very, very nice and have, gentle and loving with yourself, because it's not easy, as I'm saying, to do three weeks, level 5.
Yeah.
Listen, that's a huge success. I would say that's more success than doing a 40-day master fast. It's not easy. Get into that routine. Once you're on it as a routine, you'll be like, wow, I enjoy both fasting and eating. I feel both. I enjoy both. Yes, sure, you know, when you eat, you're not gonna feel as light as when you're fasting, and your energy might go down, but it's okay, you know, like it's not too much. You want to have it controlled. Keep it mainly raw, fruits, vegetables, and keep it within 3 hours. So that should take care of
Hmm.
it. You know, you shouldn't be too tired when you do that, and avoid the salts. But you can have celery. You can have, okay, like maybe some raw olives that are, you know,
Seaweed.
seaweed. I love seaweed. Nori. I just cut nori and just eat it like that. You know.
Yeah, I had a phase as well when I was just eating a full pack of them.
You know, you eventually you come to the point emotionally saying, okay, you know, I think I'm done eating, and you continue just on liquids. It's, you know, that
Who
you
knows
have to
when?
be
It
ready.
doesn't matter.
There's
It
no
doesn't
rush
matter.
or anything. It has to come to you naturally. You can't force it.
If you're feeling negative towards food, doing a liquidarian
Salty
lifestyle,
food, salty food.
if you're feeling negative towards any food, doing a liquidarian lifestyle, I would say
Mm.
you're not ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
know.
have to be
My soul keep
off with food.
showing me that again and again. Okay.
Yeah. So I would honestly challenge myself to do a 3 week level 5. 3 weeks on level.
Okay.
I would challenge myself. That's hard. You think it's easy? It's not. 3 weeks on level 3, on level 5, and
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, let's see. And then after the 3 weeks, take it to 6 months. That's the real challenge. Okay, the challenge is not to
Mm.
fast or to do 108 or to do a 5-day drive or anything like that.
Yeah, that's why I stopped my 5 days dry fast. Like when I really connected to my soul, and then realized I was again coming from my place of my ego. That I was like, okay, Judy, this is not what you need to master. It's the lifestyle.
Right. Like
Because once you come out of to the 5 days again, what you're gonna do? What you're gonna eat? You know, how you're gonna
So
keep going. So
let's do 6 months
yeah,
and come back and discuss these things, because I believe that's where many of us are, you know, we're not committing enough, long enough, you know.
well, you
So
know,
let's
yeah.
for 6 months and then say, okay, I feel great, or I want to change something.
you just shared. You said
Okay.
you were dancing for 4 hours on nothing.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Amazing. I was in my own world.
Energy.
Like
How can you
it
compare
was
that state with any other state? Drinking, eating.
no, but I do. There's no way you can compare. There
Exactly.
is no way you can compare. That is just
Freedom.
yeah. Yeah, and then it's something I would never be able to do it by myself before if I was not on a fast. I actually did in purpose when I was on a dry fast, knowing that I wanted to go dancing, but I feel like I don't want to drag people to come with me, because sometimes when you go dancing and then you don't like the place and the person like the place and the person want to leave before blah blah blah. I was like, if I go by myself, I can go there. If after even 10 minutes I don't like it, I can go home. And then I don't know anyone there, so even if I want to go crazy on a dance floor, I can go crazy. No one knows me, so so I did it on purpose as well to see with the energy, you know, and the level of energy I would have, and then even yeah, even just the people around me. It was just a very strange kind of relationship and feelings I had with people that were all dancing with me. And for the first time ever, I would say I went home with no giving my phone number, no taking anyone numbers or anything like that. And I felt amazing. And I walked all the way back home at 3 o'clock in the morning, like in the middle of the night. It was just so good. No, yeah, but it's really safe. Australia, it's a safe country.
How long is the walk?
So an hour.
Now,
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, no, the field, the energy, like, is completely different for sure.
that's,
Yeah.
you walk there too?
Yeah.
So that's 1 hour, and 4 hours. That's 6 hours of energy
Yeah.
you put out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I was really pumped.
You say you're gonna die without drinking and eating, right?
Yeah, exactly.
how young are you, Judith?
Sorry?
How young are you?
I just turned 30 this year.
Nice. You're a baby.
Yeah. Not really, but yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome.
This is what it's about, tapping into those, beautiful experiences. There's nothing, you can't put it in words. There's nothing that you can compare it with. It's a whole different realm. And even if we're not doing it 24/7, that state, it doesn't matter. Once you enter that state and you experience it, you can never, ever forget that state. And the only thing that goes through my mind is, how do I improve that state? That's what's been going on for 30 years in my mind, right? How do I improve that state? Because we're entering the limitless realms, and there's always room for improvement because there's no perfection in this realm. So we go and we focus on improving all the time. And that's the way I look at things. That's why people see me as extreme and all that kind of stuff. It's the way I've always lived and did things in my life. How do we improve? How do we make it better? And that's the way I do things. When you keep that intent and emotion on that, believe me, the answers start coming through. There's no choice but the answers to come through for you when you have that intent and emotion of how do I improve. So Judith, for example, we've been having a laugh discussing things over the last couple of years or so. And when you look back and you look at, what have you been focusing on? What have you been focusing on? And when you change that focus, what happens? And just look back in your memory, and then you'll see, my goodness gracious. And then we move towards the intent and emotion of where we want to be more often. And we catch ourselves, instead of saying, every time I break my fast, I go for the salt. Change it. Say, every time I break my fast, I break it with beautiful, sweet, juicy mangoes or whatever. I'm just giving you an example. Change it. Start changing the thinking. Even though that other thought comes through, say delete, push delete in your mind with your finger, and put in a new program. And we keep doing that over and over. You'll be surprised what starts happening.
And another thing is, if it's not a lifestyle, honestly, and it's just a long fast and then taking a break and then a long fast, once you start eating, the cravings are gonna be there and they're gonna be strong. So you really have to control how many days you're eating if you don't want to have strong cravings, and how many hours you're eating. It's much easier than you think. Once you get used to it, it's so easy, actually. It's really easy. Yes, okay, you're gonna feel tired at the end of the day that you eat, but not too tired if you control what you're eating.
And we know how to wash it out and so on and so forth, and clean ourselves up to move us closer back to that beautiful feeling that we experience in these wonderful states. These states, no matter what food I ate, no matter how raw and how pure and how organic and how mineral rich, never, ever, ever, ever did I come in those states with food. So, what do diets have to do with these states? Nothing. They just keep us from those states. Yeah. So choose a level of obstructiveness that you can handle, that you can say, okay, I enjoyed this stuff with a little bit of salt and everything, this meal, but I'm done with that. Okay, now I'm gonna wash it out and I'm gonna move back into the other realm. Yeah. And work it that way. Look at
another thing, we want to remember that we can be also balanced eating every day. Seriously, yes, you're not gonna feel the same as if you incorporate more fasting days into your lifestyle, but you can still find your balance with intermittent fasting, 3 hours a day of eating. People have done it. All around us are doing it. So You want to find your balance. Whatever you do, just find your lifestyle and stick to it as a routine. And if you fall off 1 day, 2 days here and there, okay, get back on track because it doesn't feel good to fall off, right? It's all learning. But you can be balanced whatever lifestyle you choose. Now, after doing a a long master fast, you're probably not gonna like eating every day, even 3 hours a day. And so choose maybe 5 days, or something after a long fast, 5 days of fasting, because you're not gonna like the feeling of being obstructed eating
Yeah, you
many
don't,
days
more than a couple of days, it gets tough
Yeah.
when you start eating.
Yeah, after a long fast, yeah, the body doesn't like it. It will give you all kinds of signs to show you I'm not happy. But yeah, whatever you do, just find your balance. And very important that when you eat, keep it maximum 3 hours, break with fruits, and then eat your vegetables. And that's it. Angelica, how are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there and doing well.
Did you
The
move?
past couple.
Did you move?
Yes, today was the big move. So everything, all the big furniture got moved over to the new place, and so I can breathe again. It's getting back on track now. Now I have everything here, and I can start living, going back to my routine, if you will. So it's been challenging. It's been a little rough, um, living the way I was living for the past few weeks because of packing and all of that. So I have no excuses now.
Are you working as well, or you don't work?
No, I don't work. Ever since I had my mastectomy and all, I stopped working, and that was 2 years ago. But I don't know. I'm looking at going back to work, and my life is a little different now. Where before I was focused on making money, um, it it was more of the paper pusher, working for the government and having, security. Now I want to work somewhere I have fun or I enjoy. It's a different way of looking at work for me. Um, and I have the opportunity to do that with my husband being able to support us both. Um, and my focus is different, where I think he was always able to support us. It's just that I always wanted a certain lifestyle that needed both of us to work, and now my focus is different. And so we'll see. I do want to stay home because it does help me. It makes my lifestyle a lot easier. So we'll see what happens. And it's funny, as I'm talking to you, I keep catching myself. I recognize I never have a plan. It's always, well, we'll see what happens. I kind of live by the moment, in a sense, or I live in the feeling. Whatever I feel at this moment, that's what I do. And if my feelings change, then my decision changes. So I'm never very reliable or focused on, I don't know, guess I'm just, I don't know.
You're awesome. Whatever it is, you're awesome.
It's just that you're in a place where you're trying to find that way that you can call something that you're going to be able to sustain for a while, because it's going to continuously change and evolve as we move along. It'll never be the same. It's never
Yeah.
going to be forever.
I
Everything.
think I think too, I'm in my mind a lot because um, changes are okay. Changes always happen, and if I go with the flow, then I'm okay. It's when I bring my mind into it and I start saying, "Oh, look at me." One moment I say yes, and then another moment I say no. What's wrong with that? You know, if I don't think about it and I allow myself to flow with it, then there's no issue there. I'm creating these issues. I truly make my life a little more difficult than it has to be.
We all do.
So, and I have noticed that I have been eating obstructive food still for the past few days. Um, and what's interesting is that I have more of a clarity about what's going on with me. Oh no. Did I lose you? Hello? Are you there?
But
Your video stopped, but we can hear
you're
you.
frozen.
Yeah, my phone is having trouble charging. So I'll do my best, and if I can't get cut off, then it's my phone. But as I'm eating the obstructive foods, I'm also noticing, uh-oh, did I lose you?
No, we are here.
Oh, okay. I'm also noticing that I'm not hungry. I'm eating this because it's a craving, and craving has nothing to do with hunger. They're completely separate. As a matter of fact, craving is all in the mind. And
Hunger doesn't exist.
what's that?
Hunger doesn't exist, so cravings definitely don't exist either. I mean, it's not true. I mean, okay, cravings, yes, okay, cravings
It's
are
emotion.
cravings, but hunger doesn't exist really. We're never hungry, in my opinion.
We need to nurture the emotion. Always.
Okay. So I have a great clarity on that. There's a huge separation on like that there is no hunger. It's all in the craving. And as I'm eating, I'm like, and you're right, as I'm eating, it's like, it's a craving, but that's what I call it because that's maybe how I'm programmed. But it's really in the mind. It's the mind creating it, and I'm watching this happen, and I'm witnessing it, and it's just incredible to see it. And yet I'm still, as I'm watching it happen, I'm putting the food in my mouth, and I'm realizing, wow, this is so robotic of me.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to watch this unfold.
When you're eating, are you eating all day?
No, today I ate twice, but normally it's just the one craving, and I'll eat that and then be done with it for the rest of the day.
Okay, so it's kind of controlled.
Kind of. I know, like you said earlier, I know I can do better. So I'm still, I still, I'm hard on myself because I'm like, I didn't have to do this. It was, maybe I enjoyed it for a moment, but then it's over. And then I'm like, why did I even do this? It only happens for a moment and then it's gone.
Okay.
And if I look back at it, did I really enjoy this like I thought I did?
Okay, yeah. I honestly believe it's good for you to have a plan.
Yes.
I mean, go moment by moment, even with a plan. You still have to go moment by moment. But we will have a routine in our lives. We all do. But at least choose a routine that you want. Choose a routine that you one, do your best with, how are you going to do your best without a plan?
Yeah.
How am I going to be my best when I have absolutely no plan? And I have to have a plan to do my best,
Yeah, you start writing things down and maybe go over it once a day, once a week, once a month, but something consistent that can work for you, and just
Yeah, I have
keep
it on my
updating
phone.
it.
On my phone, I have my routine. And it definitely includes the master fast,
Yeah.
my work and my master fast and everything, balancing that. So you want to have a plan. Are we gonna stick to it all the time? It's do your best. That's where you do your best.
Yeah.
But it's important to have a plan and have a routine. But you're gonna have a routine regardless. But at least choose a good one. So choose a routine that you love.
It's always that thing of we feel that we're missing out on something, and when we get into those states of mind, that's when we get ourselves in trouble because we feel we're missing out on something. We have to do this, and we have to do that. We have to. When you get into those states of that we don't need to do anything, and we are can be in a joyful, blissful state all the time, no matter where we are, right here, right now. Then we start looking at things a little bit differently. There's nowhere we have to go, nowhere we have to be, nowhere we have to do. It's all an illusion. It's all created by the ego, the mind, and through marketing and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and other people's opinions and so on and so forth. All these rules and things and whatever we have to do. Who said we have to do anything? We don't have to do anything. Just have to sit here and be in bliss. You don't have to do anything. So when you change your perspective, it becomes joyful. Even like you said, you said you ate the thing, and then you ask yourself, did I enjoy this? If you're gonna do it, enjoy it fully. Just when you eat, just consume and enjoy it. Turn into beautiful light, whatever it is, and don't worry about it after.
It's so expensive, though. You might not enjoy it like a few minutes after. So at least let the joy continue and choose something that is easier on your body. Because otherwise, you're not going to feel great if it's very obstructive.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Enjoy that state, even if it doesn't feel the best.
And sometimes the anticipation of it is a lot more exciting than the actual eating of it, because
exactly. What's the saying? It's not the kill, it's the thrill of the chase.
Yes.
It's once you get there and you kill, it's over. But it's the thrill of the chase. So it's the same thing.
But also, we also have to learn how to love our food. We know how to fast. We don't know how to eat. So it's gonna be a trial, and there are you're gonna have ups and downs. Like I said, with them, for example, choosing a level, give it 3 weeks to feel a little bit more balanced, and then give it 6 months. 6 months, take them to love your food. If you buy a fruit that you don't like, don't buy it again. Next time, buy a fruit that you love. And if you buy it every week, it doesn't matter. Buy it every week, okay? Eat the same fruit every week because you love it. Same thing with like anything, vegetables. If you eat something that you don't like, don't buy it again. If you don't fully love it, don't eat it. So this is a learning process. You're gonna have to go through learning, just like you learned how to fast. You want to learn how to eat and enjoy your food.
Yeah. I think I'm figuring it out, and I am stumbling through it, but at the same time, I'm still working through it. I'm moving forward, and you're right, as you said, once you have that taste, you never forget it, and that's what keeps me here, is knowing that I've been there. I've seen the clarity of this. I know what's going on. I know how I felt, and the information that was downloaded, and it's just a beautiful feeling. And
how do we improve it?
What level were you thinking to do? Or are you thinking?
Well, you know, I wanted to do level 6 and I'm struggling through that. So do I bring it down to 5? It's like, but the more I eat, like if I bring the levels down, all I'm going to do is want more and more food.
Yeah, for sure. More cravings with more days of eating.
Right.
So again, what do you want? Only you know. 5
Yeah.
or 6? Maybe 5, 6?
I would prefer 6. I would prefer 6. So
Like,
I'm going to stick to that.
Like I do 5, 6. I do 6 most of the time, but then 5 when, for example, Christmas, I would eat an extra day, or Easter maybe, or I don't know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If it's in the middle of the week, I would add an extra day of eating, just to socialize. But then, I mean, they're both very effective. I mean, even level 5 is amazing. Maybe do both. Maybe do 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes 5, sometimes 6. Okay. Well, uh-huh.
Give your body time. Give yourself time to
Yeah.
into it. It takes at least 3 weeks of doing it consistently before you feel comfortable and say, okay, I got it. I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm staying focused. I know I fall off the wagon every so often, but it's like, okay, let's get back on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep moving forward and until I get this.
Yeah, and you have so much happening in your life as well, right? Like the moving and thinking about work or something. So we all have a lot happening in our heads, you know? So
Yes. And now that, you know, I'm getting settled here at this new place, I can start meditating again. I had stopped, and I noticed that meditation really does help me. It keeps me focused on
what matters.
it's a certain state of mind that it puts me in, like, you know, I'm connected, and it keeps me connected.
Amazing.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Meditation's awesome.
Yes. It puts me in a certain state of mind, in everything, my mind, my feelings, they are all working together.
It brings balance.
Yes. So yeah, you know, finishing the move and everything, I think I can finally start focusing more on what I need to do to be successful with MFS.
Amazing. You are successful already. You're learning. It's when you're giving up, that's when, you know, we're not successful. You haven't given up.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's only when we give up, then we not really failed, but like it's not for us, you know. We move on to another project. There's always something to keep us busy.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
for me,
something, then that's it. It's over for you with that. But you're not giving up.
no. For me, you know, I've done so many different things, but how I see it is that they've all opened a door to getting here to MFS. MFS is my life now, my lifestyle. Because had I not gone through the different types of, you know, eating lifestyles, I don't know how I would feel about MFS. MFS is like going at 100 miles an hour, and I wouldn't have been able to go from 0 to 100, you know, just like that. And those doors that open helped me speed up, 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, and now 100. It was much easier to do those transitions. And so I know, in my heart of hearts, I know that this is where I belong. It's just getting my body, my programming up to speed, is just
We
taking a little longer.
Yeah, we continuously work on it. It's a journey, just continuously working on it. How do I improve it? Keep asking yourself these questions. How do I improve this? How do I improve that? And the answers will come.
Yes, and that's what I loved about your opening message is how do I make this better? And I know that I can always do better. I love that, and I appreciate that.
It's the only thing that kept me going. Because you get into these wonderful states, and how do I make it better? Just ask yourself that question all the time.
Yeah, yes, I think that's a very good motivator for me.
We're gonna make a T-shirt. How do we make it better?
Oliver.
Taking a nap.
How are you doing?
Hello. What's up?
How's it going?
Good. I am day 2. Let's sit up.
Amazing. Yeah, I saw that today. Yesterday.
Yeah, I felt really inspired. Sorry, I get really nervous when I talk.
I'm nervous, don't worry.
Nervous about what?
I don't know. My nerves just get all tingly when I have to talk on the Zoom, but yeah, I don't know. I just felt really good. I felt inspired. I've been watching Muji and
Lots of wisdom.
yeah, and just I mean this has been growing. I do level 3 and always in like the back of my mind I always have, when is that next extended fast coming? And I feel like I've been wanting to jump into it, so I always keep that level 3, and every once in a while I try to go farther than it. But the last few weeks that I tried to go farther or extend it didn't really feel right. And I feel like this time it's going to be an extended fast, because I feel like I have my intention set, and yeah, I don't know, I don't have a lot of words for it. It just feels right.
What was your longest one? How long?
Well, the longest digestive break I ever took was 120 days, but that was raw juices. The longest MFS I've ever done is 40 days.
Yeah, so you have long ones.
Yeah, so I've done like all kinds. I've done like 120 days. I've done like 60 days. I've done 30 days. I've done 40 days. So I've done a lot of different extended fast, but like we've always talked about in past Zooms and calls is that one thing that I've never had before MFS was living the lifestyle of, however you want to call it, holistic, fasting, natural state lifestyle. And now that I have this lifestyle, it's so much more comfortable to fast, because I no longer have fear of breaking the fast. I used to literally, like, when I would do a long fast and I had to eat again, like the week before breaking the fast, I would be in a state of fear. I'd just be like, I don't want to eat. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to deal with cravings. I'm going to have to deal with this. And like, I'm going to have to deal with digestion and like, and then I remember my first MFS I broke, I felt so relaxed. I did 27 days my first MFS. And I mean, ever since then, breaking the fast is really, it's not a big deal to me, because whatever, you can eat for 2 days and then fast again. Like,
Exactly.
you know, I don't mind. So it's fun.
What kind of lifestyle are you thinking to live after the 40? Let's say 40. After
I mean, I don't know, because I've been doing level 3, but I think that I'd want to go to a higher level, but I just don't know. I don't really know how to like just pick a level. You know what I mean?
you know, yeah.
Because for me right now, like the funny thing about when I say level 3 is I kind of do it intuitively. Like I don't always, it's not always exactly level 3. Like some days I'll eat for one day and then I'll fast for another day and then I'll eat. Like some days it'll be split up like that. Some weeks it will be 3 days of fasting, 4 days of eating.
That's fine.
Some days I'll do 3 days of fasting, 2 days of eating, then 3 days again. So I don't really know how to put a specific level on it, but I really, for me, when I focus, my focus when I do eat is on elimination. So on my eating days, you know, I keep that small eating window and then I focus on eliminating that food the next day. So when I do eat, even when I do focus on that elimination, so I have that one meal and I eliminate it the next day, and then let's say I have dinner, which is that 3-hour eating window, you can't do that for so long. You can't do that 7 days a week. I mean, I understand why OMAD is amazing, one meal a day, but even one meal a day, you start to back up. I mean, you can't do it every day of your life because you will feel it. You'll start feeling the food. So like you said, like doing OMAD and keeping a level on top of that, it's so crucial. But yeah, I don't really have like a solid answer for the level, but definitely not below like level 3 or 4. I wouldn't, you know.
Are you feeling balanced to that? You're happy with that? Or you feel like you want to, you know, take a long break? Yeah, you do, right? I mean, that's why I want to do this one.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking, after since you have done a few long master fasts, I'm thinking maybe you can do maybe level 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just find your balance with it. But if you're happy doing whatever and feel balanced with that, that's fine. And doing long fasts here and there.
Yeah, you know, I feel balanced in a way, but in another way, I've been feeling too heavy from the food. Like, I know, okay, so for example, for me, honestly, this is really like, it's not really on the physical, like, it's not the physicality anymore. Like when I do these long fasts, it's really for like spiritual, emotional. Like what I really think about is when I did my last 40-day MFS, and also when I'm thinking about my older fast, like when I did a 60-day, I'm not sure if it was the 120 or the 60-day. I was so blissed out. I was having such a good time. I went on this trip. I think I talked about it on the last one. I'm not sure. But I went to Catalina Island and I had such an amazing time. And I had was so good during that fast. And also on my 40-day MFS, I felt so good. I felt so light. When things would come up, a mirror truth would show up, I would just constantly release, and I would feel good and I would carry on. And I remember the 2 weeks after, like whatever, like 3 weeks, whatever amount of time after my last 40-day fast, I could feel just steadily that the emotions that would come up would get so stuck. I started to feel so backed up emotionally, and I started to not feel as good. And I wasn't as energetic. I wasn't as happy, and everything just like all those good things slowly were going down. And for me, even doing like the level 3, and why I don't think it's enough for me and feeling balanced is because it doesn't keep me at that high state. And the second I go into like 3, 4, 5 days of MFS is when I start going back up and feeling really good and start releasing again. So, I mean, I definitely think that I have to consider keeping it at like level 5 because,
or even 6,
yeah,
6, something like that, because you have done long fast and you know the light feeling, and you're not gonna like eating 3 days or 4 days a week. It's
yeah.
not nearly as fun.
Yeah, I feel like I literally only do the amount of days that I do right now out of cravings. Like I'm not eating out of, because I need food. I eat because, I have a craving and I'm like, okay, well, another day.
Yeah, that is
What is another day gonna do? Because you do another day and then you want another day.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I feel level 6 is safe. I feel maybe 5 sometimes, maybe not 2 days in a row. I feel when it's 2 days in a row, it gets a little bit dangerous.
really,
Dangerous.
I feel like I have to try it out,
Yeah, because you start thinking, okay, food, 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 food. But when you eat and then you wash it the next morning, you get back on track, you feel fine. It's easy to get back on track, very easy. Yeah.
What do you think is like the benefit of doing like one day? Because I feel like if we do one day a week of eating,
Mm.
what does even that one day serve?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The belief system.
No. Okay, you know what? Listen, it would be nice. I mean, I did consider going liquidarian a couple of times before on 2 fasts, actually. Yeah, twice, I think. Yeah, and it's great. But I feel like I am not ready to completely give up food. I still want to socialize. I still want to prepare food. I still want to smell it and do, play with it a little bit before I say, okay, I can still play with it and prepare it for other people, but I like to taste it. And as I said, when I keep it within 3 hours, that makes a big difference. When I eat only within 3 hours, fruit and then vegetables, like it's fine. And then I don't eat. I go back to my tea and tinctures as if I'm back on the master fast that night. And then the next morning I get back. So I already get back into the routine that day. Sometimes if one time I had people over and we ate, and then at the end of the day I was cleaning and I was looking at the food. And I was like, oh, now I feel, rested. I can sit down and I can eat,
Mm-hmm.
And I look at the food and I had another big meal before I knew I was eating another meal. And that was like, doing one day a week of eating. My sleep, I had nightmares. I tell you, I ate before bed. I had nightmares the next morning and like sweating. And the next morning I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do to myself?
Yeah.
Hard, but if you keep it within 3 hours and you keep it mainly raw and you keep it mainly fruits and vegetables, if you eat cooked, vegetables, like don't go crazy. Like, yeah, you don't want to eat rice and I don't know, stuff like that, oils and
Oh yeah.
yeah. You don't want to eat other people's food.
Yeah.
Or restaurant food.
So I'm kind of thinking it's like a thought in my mind comes up where, I totally am with you that not having that like label or that, liquidarian where you're like,
Yeah, it's too much too fast.
yeah, but like let's say like you do 20 days of MFS and then you want to live this lifestyle where like every 20 days you want to have like a meal. Maybe it's like beyond just like a level 7, like it's like a once a month thing.
Yeah.
My only concern is that we talk about having to break the fast correctly. It's like you can't just eat whatever you want on that 20th day, So would something like that work? Because let's say you wanted to have like a meal of fruit and then a salad and something is cooked in that salad. Would that be dangerous to do on a monthly time because your body is so...
If it's basically you do like you said, you do with the fruit, and then you have a salad and then maybe some cooked veggie like.
Without oils and all that stuff, it's gonna be hard on your body.
You'll feel it, but it's okay. Like there's if you read in Arnold Eric's book, how he recommends some people to break their fast with stewed spinach.
I remember that. Yep.
The fruit is too aggressive for some people that are really backed up, right? So it all depends on your body. As long as you're not going to like boil potatoes in a pizza.
But break it always with fruit. Break it with fruit before, let's say you want to eat with your family or something. So break it always by yourself or whatever, with fruit, and then have your vegetables. And because it's only within, let's say, 3 hours, and then you're back on the fast. So you're always fasting. You just take a little break, and then the next morning you wash it. I believe it'll be good.
Yeah. Also, I think when you clean out your body, I mean, we've talked about this before, same with the enemas, is it only makes your digestion stronger. I mean, my digestion is like, I have steel digestion. I can eat some pretty obstructive things and it just goes right out and I feel fine. And I talk to a lot of people that, they're in such sensitive states where they eat like the smallest thing wrong and like they have swelling and they have all these problems. I don't really have that anymore. So I'm not like fearful of food, because.
I mean, you don't want to go crazy with salts and this and that. You're going to feel it. And I'm sure you don't do that. You know better, right? But some people, I guess, if they eat a pizza, of course you're going to swell, like.
Yeah, I've been doing, I mean, I feel like we eat pretty similar. I do the quinoa. I do a meal of fruit, and then I do like greens with quinoa, and I put like hearts of palm and vegetables in it. So I've been doing a lot of meals like that. But even that, I mean,
the quinoa can be hard, I only do it occasionally when I cook for other people. But I like to keep it all raw. When I'm by myself, it's just me and Gino. When we have people, I will cook some food like beets and sweet potatoes and stuff like that, and maybe lentil or something, or quinoa. But it's best to keep it fruits and vegetables at least cooked and raw.
You know what I laugh at is like, I don't even understand how people look at food as fuel, because when I see what comes out in the toilet, the quinoa it literally doesn't digest at all. I'm like, this quinoa is not doing it.
Well, see, this is where is the whole thing is that we process, assimilate, and absorb this stuff physically.
I think that's the good thing about quinoa compared to rice. It comes out.
Yeah, it comes out.
Whereas the rice would stick in, or the wheat would
yeah.
No, but what he's saying is that how do you get energy from? You get it from the fields. Your body's got to convert into a GAN state in order to absorb the fields. That's how matter's created. It's not created through the matter. So when you start gaining that understanding, you know the whole fallacy of nutrition.
It takes away
There's no such thing.
Food takes away your energy. There's no.
Yeah, exactly.
We create our own nutrition through the fields. And the only thing that's in the way is our belief system. We don't believe it because we have not been programmed like this to believe that. We've been programmed that you have to eat 3 meals a day, you have to drink so much water, blah, 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 protein, all that other crap. So eventually, the more you live it and start looking at things, you start realizing through the experiences that, my goodness gracious, it is all fallacy.
You start changing your belief,
and you get more and more faith as you continue this lifestyle. It doesn't happen overnight, because we see people, even 108 days, they're out there looking for nutrition again.
Yeah, that's why.
Because they haven't got it. They're not living and loving it.
That's why when you have a pretty bad disease or something, whatever, and your belief system is already shattered, that you are sick, first of all. And then your body is physically also imbalanced, like emotionally, spiritually, everything, and physically, big imbalance. And for a person to change their belief system, it's gonna take a lifestyle.
Yeah,
of doing, just like we do, fast and eat, and sometimes feeling horrible, and then you learn. But overall, your body is happier than before.
you have to experience it. Like, if you don't experience the highs and the lows of fasting and feeling what food does to you, and then fasting again and doing it over and over and over until you really get it. I mean, for me, why I feel comfortable doing these extended fasts and feel comfortable even saying that I want to do a level, maybe even past what we would say is like a level 7, I kind of want to try that, is because I've lived and loved it for so long. And I just have that deep connection with, I know what food feels like, So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I mean, if you think, has anyone ever talked to you about doing something like that where it's?
I've mentioned it. Like if one meal a week seems too much, go to one every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, like you were discussing. I've talked about that. I don't remember
Yeah,
when.
you were saying for yourself once a month, maybe.
It's
Yeah.
the levels are there, so you
Just
can
to
work with it.
talk,
If you
yeah.
want to do, let's say 3 days a week, level 3, do you have to eat 3 days in a row? No, you can eat every other day, and then do the rest of you know what I mean?
But that's hard. That's
It's
hard.
so
It's like
fair.
you clean and then you put the food, and then you clean and then you put food, and then yeah.
That's how I was feeling though. I really feel like for a while there, I was like, what am I doing? It's like I'm cleaning my body and I could feel my body's working so hard to clean, and then I put the food back in and I'm like, I'm just living my life as cleaning. I'm a cleaning machine now. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah.
At least you're not an eating machine.
When I did level 5, 6 for 90 days, and that's exactly what I was saying to myself. Every Monday morning, so I'd eat Sunday. Monday morning, I would be like, why am I doing this? Why? Every Monday morning when I'm washing my colon, I'm like, why did I eat? But
I've been saying it for 30 years. Doesn't matter.
you know what? I also say right now that I'm happy eating on Monday. It's okay. Yeah, it might not feel as great as level 7, but you know what? It's great enough for me for now.
Grounded as well.
Yeah. So we take our time, because it's also, even me, I have to change my belief system and I have to strengthen my faith. After 4.5 years of doing this, I still have to, enjoy my food. I love it. I still say I love my food, even with all the, eating, feeling a little bit tired, and I still say I love the food. And I think it's healthy to say that, even when we give it up.
Because we've had so many experiences socializing with food. It's not the food; it's the experiences.
Yeah.
That go along with
And
it.
you know what? It's good to transition, in my opinion, slowly, so that you adapt to the environment, and your family and the people around you socially adapt to you as well.
Lots of changes.
Give it time. Yeah, give it time, so it's not a big shock.
Especially when everybody thinks you're cuckoo.
They all think I'm cuckoo already. It's okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. My family's used to me not eating at dinner. It's the normal.
Do you live with them?
What?
Do you live with your family?
No, I don't live with my family, but we live very close. So I go to, they have Shabbat dinner, so I'm always going to their Shabbat dinner. They're always, I have a huge family, so there's always family dinners, this and that.
Yeah, so mix the eating days with them, and then fasting days when you're busy.
But you know what? A lot of Ranjit talks about this a lot. It's the field strength that you bring. And when I come to family dinners, I always bring so much love, and they don't care. I sit there with like a drink or something, and they don't even notice that I don't eat.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've done it. Yeah.
I'm talking and laughing with them. Does it,
Even dry fasting, I've done it, and it felt amazing. But there was, unfortunately, there was a guy who was not my family. One time he's actually a French chef, a friend of the family, and he kept telling me, like making me feel uncomfortable that what I'm doing is wrong, and I was completely happy and satisfied with dry fasting that day, doing my weekly dry, and watching everybody, and totally fine, not hungry at all, of course, but he felt uncomfortable that I'm not eating, and so he kind of and he doesn't mind saying his opinion, out loud, and And that was a little bit hard, you know. That was a little bit hard. But when it's your family, you know your family, you know what to expect, you know, and they know you already. When it's new people, it might be hard.
I've had the same experience. I was at a family dinner, and my mom invited her friend's family, and one of the guys kind of looked at me because he was sitting next to me. He goes, "You're not eating? You're not eating anything?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." I didn't say I'm fasting or anything. I just said, "No, I'm good." I kind of just wing it off. But after the dinner, I mean, they all kind of ganged up on me, and they were like, "Protein, this," and because he was a doctor, so they were all saying, "What's your opinion? What's your opinion?" You know, and like, it was what do you call it when you get someone and you try to fix? I don't know what it's called.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Yeah, there's a word for it, but
Intervention.
intervention. Yeah, I felt intervention. They were calling me anorexic. They were calling me all these things. And I just kept saying, "I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm so sorry." Like, I just didn't know what to say. And then I just walked away at some point. But I totally agree. There's times when it can get a little bit nasty.
Yeah, but most of the time it's fine when you know the people.
So I've been through it too.
Amazing.
But it makes us stronger, you know?
Yes.
We go through these things, so.
I've been through many family events fasting. Yeah, if there's too much controversy, say, "Listen, you guys want me to stay or you want me to leave? Because I feel freaking amazing."
I know, and I'm no fun when I eat. You want me to be you want me to be fasting when I come to a family event. I'll be loud and laughing and making jokes. When I'm eating, I'm going to be sitting down, tired, lazy, and I'm not going to talk to anyone. How it is.
Brittany, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's really, really rocky, to be honest. I'm like at a point with myself. I mean, there's like a lot of different aspects of my life that the things I have to tie up. Wow. That I didn't really see coming. Even just found out recently that the one place where I was admitted, like in the hospital, actually my insurance decided to cover like nothing. So I have like a lot of like financial things I'm gonna have to tie up and people I have to see about that. But physically, that's my first priority at this point. And I'm at a position where I try not to hold the fear, because that's not really going to like move me through this. And I'm at a point where as far as like choosing like eating days or choosing eating at all, like I can't at this point, and I know that, and it's all past patterns and stuff like that. So it's been very, very intense. I'm still having the scenario where I'm still haven't been able to actually release anything. So that obstruction, like the obstruction that I have going on, I mean, it's from down here, it's like all the way up at this point. And it has me like concerned, but it's like, I essentially like, I always have a choice, but my intuition like knows like I don't have a choice. So what I have to be doing is like, you know, be as flexible with my energy like as I can, but as far as like levels go, is like I need to be loving but strict at the same time. I almost am at this point too. I don't want to say like I'm worried. I'm just at this point where I've debated like going for a colonic again. Last time I went, I wasn't able to release anything. It's like it's that embedded, and
keep going. That's what I say to my clients.
Yeah, it's my soul's just telling me release. Like even with the plasma pudding, the grape juice, it's like, okay, everything like tinctures, kidney tea, like that's great, but honestly, you need to be releasing. You have to get releasing going, because you haven't. And it just tells me that it's just that simple. And what I'm gonna have to do is just put like deep blind faith into it, and just keep flushing and keep doing it, and like
It's not blind faith. We've been doing this for 33 decades.
It's
I
just,
don't know, where do you get that it's blind faith? It works if you work the
it's
system.
like through
And
knowing. It's actually like the knowing.
yeah, let go of all that belief system that you're bringing to the table.
And the
It's the only
colonic,
difference.
you might not feel that it worked, but it does work. Even if you don't release, you don't see stuff coming out, it does work.
Mhm.
When somebody is blocked, I tell them come back.
Yeah,
Just keep,
I
yeah.
would highly recommend stop focusing on you being blocked. Start focusing on your solutions. Because you're
Yeah.
always posting about your challenges. What's the solutions? Have you written them down?
Yeah. It's a lot of times it's honestly just not overcomplicating everything. There was a period of time where I went back to something I had done way back. I had gone back to trying to do like coffee enemas again and had a kind of release with that, but then there was an issue with that too. And I'm just finally like told myself like,
They just enervate you. That's all. They really weaken the nervous system.
yeah. And my body's just, it's in a very, very, I like need to be its mother, but like a strong mother. And it's fragile at this point, but
Why is it
like,
fragile? Why do
see
you
the like,
when we've shown you everything is opposite?
yeah, I think that fragile mindset is just like my mind and my ego just getting involved. It's interesting because I remember, and I just remember like being clear, and I remember like before choices were made and everything, like I never liked eating when I got to that level of like spiritual like heightened attunement, and I had so much further to go. And it's just like it's got to be that motivation now, like where my true desires is I want to feel everything. I want to let the poetry run through. I want to let the art run through. I want to just feel. I remember it was interesting when you were talking about before. I remember like literally just feeling the waves of like what the weather was going to bring through, just like mirroring all the emotions cascading in me. It's one time somebody did something, it was like something malicious, and I just felt myself welling up with tears, and I just felt like the universe was with me. And it was just like the second I cried, everything just like the sky opened, and it was like, it wasn't that like it was anything about the person that was in my reality, that it was just like this divine synchronistic, you just are there with it. And the heaviness and everything is just like for periods of time I just chose it like over and over and over and over again, to the point where I finally realized like more recently, even when I wanted to release tears, or I felt tears coming on, I couldn't even cry because my it's like that blocked where I couldn't cry. And it's just knowing what the opposite feels like. And I'm grateful for, as painful as it is, I'm like grateful for the experience, because it's like, it's such a deep way of being down there. So that there's just the going up, and it's just, this part of me is just telling me like, just like, if you need to go for a colonic, like, and go over and over, just keep going, just keep flushing. Because honestly, if things aren't moving, like, and it's been going on that long, then you got to get something in there, just like moving and moving and moving and moving and moving, because sometimes it takes that.
Are you drinking enough juice?
Yeah, I'm drinking the grape juice. I'm taking the tinctures and the tea. Juice is like 1 to 2 liters, and then there's some days where I like drink only a little bit, and I'm not drinking as much, because after I drink, I feel like I just need to sleep, and I like lay down.
Yeah, you want to drink at least 2, my dear. 2. That's the
Keep drinking.
The protocol you have to follow completely.
Yeah,
And if I like am at the place, it's probably because of being blocked up. If I'm at the point where I'm like so exhausted, it's like hard to move sometimes. Like I actually, no, it's like, see, that's the mind going. I was gonna say, I don't know if this is wrong to do, but my being tells me, no, keep pushing, just keep going, like keep going through your day, just like almost like no matter how exhausted and like heavy and like my legs start to hurt and everything, like how much it feels and how you haven't released anything. It's like I finally realized that like I'm the one that can decide that I'm going to walk and do this thing. I'm the one that can decide that.
You know, we help, when we help people, we have to, you know, we've been doing this for 4.5 years. We have to follow the protocol. It's there. Everything is there for a reason. We have seen all kinds of stuff. Trust me, we have seen people do this, do that, and, you know, follow the protocol as it is. If you're drinking 1 liter a day, that's not good. That's not good.
MFS is about squeezing and washing. It's not about nutrition. It's not about
So if you're not
anything else.
getting the results, you know, look what you're doing. Look back at the protocol. Are you completely following it? The juice and the herbs and this and this and that, exactly as, you know, we suggest.
And that's what I have to do in a lot of like washing. There's the part of me that because it's like I was so happy actually to hear you say, like, when you're talking about like everyone's trying to balance minerals and nutrients and it's just like all an illusion, because I always believed that. I was just like, no, if we just like release everything, the body has that all built into its like fabric, and it's like hardwired nature. It like we are those nutrients, like we are that like energy, we are that like coruscating energy. And I get to a point where I need to just kind of like shut the ego part of me down, because I get afraid to like drink the grape juice because of how obstructed I am. I get afraid to put more in, and I just get obsessed with like releasing, which I know I should have some sort of like passion and fixation with releasing, but not to the degree where the parasites and the blockage make me afraid to drink the fruit juice. And I probably have to let go of that too.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, if you can't let it go, you got to find something that you can live and love and follow, because
when you do the master fast, have faith in the protocol. We cannot sit down and question things and not get results. Nobody can help. Nobody can help.
Yeah.
Because you know, everything is there for a reason.
only listen to the people living
The fruits and the parasites and all that nonsense, it's nonsense to us. 4.5 years. Nonsense.
30 plus years.
I've seen a lot of things come out of people on the master fast. Okay, I've taken photos. A lot of the photos that you see,
oh, the ones on in like that museum page and everything, I saw that. I was just like,
a lot of them, I've taken them off master fast clients. A lot of crap came out. Okay.
and I followed your post actually that one day, and it's like it was something that took me back to like way back, like when I was with my soulmate, and we were like walking our path, and her and I would that story, just everything. And we would just talk about like the woman that was actually in our the mystic who guided us at that time, that gave a lot of like awareness toward a lot of things to come, or just that were. And I remember her writing down before Jem and I just started, like we just went on a path and we just were like in tune with one another, and we'd be sitting there and writing, and then I'd be thinking about something. She's like, okay, my second chakra. She's like, please stop thinking about it. Can you please tune your heart? And like I remember reading with the woman, she wrote like the war will be in the food. And it was way back. And we were just like energized water, everything like that. And I just went back to what that felt like. And I got a lot of animosity like way back then. I mean, my appearance and everything, like I was a different being, but I was like so loving and so warm and just like smiling everywhere and like dancing everywhere. Sometimes I got angry about society because I was still in that phase of things, and I would get angry outwardly at times, but then like braid it back into balance. But you know, people would come up to me and they'd be like, you know, like you really can't do this. Like, do you see how thin you are? And a lot of times it was tough because I was like really strict on my path, and then every now and then I'd be out with like a family, and I would wind up having a meal that like really didn't resonate with me. And so then like that was the first time I started like writing and documenting everything. I felt all the water and like the like chi and like just the energies that were percolating, like the aura, like with that, when that happens, it just expands miles. But then like when the food sat there, all the water just rushed there to my stomach, and I was just like, wait, the water just left. And I felt myself sinking. And then all of a sudden I looked like I had dropped like so much weight after that, and my hair kind of changed. And then that was when everybody came over like randomly. It was like a synchronicity, like I attracted it, and they were like, you know, you look really thin. And I was like, well, actually a day ago I was probably like a bunch of pounds like not as thin because I actually hadn't put in the very obstruction that like wound up changing the whole chemistry of everything. But I just remember like all of that. And I saw your post like from your journey, like your recent journey when you were doing level 6, I think it was, and just like all of your releases. And I just realized is like, that's even somebody who's been like clean minimal eating for like a really, really long time. Like that's literally what this illusion holds. Like that's all it is. That's all.
I had my falls too. I had my falls where I ate, days in a row between my fasts. And I was not perfect, that's for sure. And for that reason, I say, you know what? If I'm obstructed, I know why. I totally know why. I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. What I like to do is to be consistent with a level of master fast for at least 6 months. That's my goal. At least 6 months. Stick to the level for 6 months and then say, okay, how do I feel? Do I want to continue, or do I want to go higher or lower or whatever, but I think, in my opinion, that it's very important for us to be consistent and find the balance. So what level are you thinking? Are you not thinking of a level? Are you thinking of we don't recommend long fasts for people who have not done a long master fast already. We just don't.
Yeah, thinking was just because of like the place I'm at with myself, it was between like 5 or 6, because at this point, like I want to be like releasing like more than as much as I can.
As a lifestyle, you're thinking?
Would that be too traumatic for my body? Because I know it's like a lot of it's like my mind and just the energies that are in me already, where it's like my cravings are insane, but once I eat, I'm like.
But are you thinking of it as a lifestyle or as a temporary thing?
It needs to be a lifestyle. There's one part of me that's like, there's this part of me that's like pulling me away, and it's like, oh, but I don't know if I could. And I'm just like, stop. It needs to be a lifestyle, honestly.
So what are you doing these
days?
What level are you doing these days?
These days, I started with aiming to do level 5. And then honestly, the end of last week, I just fell off. I wound up like eating. It was especially around the holidays, things that were, at first they were just kind of like raw, like vegetables. And then it was just like more obstructive things and stuff. And
so how about review your goals, look at your goals again, and think about it, because only you know what level is best for you. I don't know. It could be 5, it could be 3, I don't know. So sit down and ask yourself, how do you see yourself living for the next 6 months on the master fast, and pick the level that makes sense to you, and follow the protocol you really want to follow it. I mean, if you're not releasing and you're not drinking enough, we know why you're not releasing. A big reason is because you're dehydrated. Your body's dehydrated. You need to drink. The juice is there to help you, not to hydrate, but to allow the body to hydrate itself by removing the obstructions.
And do you recommend, like, if I'm like, because of how long it's been like blocked up, even just really getting myself into drinking like a lot of pure water again, or just not focus on that?
Water.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Have you read the protocol, Brittany?
Yeah, that's like not really a focus on water. And
maybe read the frequently asked questions as well. There's the water one there. Yeah, so no water. We don't do any water whatsoever.
Okay. Just like with like the flushing and the colon and everything. Yeah.
Water decreases your field strength. That's my understanding.
Yeah. Our experience hasn't been good with water.
Yeah. And there was something else that came to mind.
Yeah, so I would pick the level of the lifestyle. Again, sit down and review your goals and stick to it for 6 months, following the protocol. So adjusting so that you're following it completely, properly. And don't give up on the enemas, at least 6 liters, maybe more for you, I would say, if you're obstructed.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a lot of it, because even when I do like a large amount and I'm like there and I'm holding it, like
another one, yeah.
I'll go to like release and it will take a while and stuff like that, and I'll release, and just like a lot of liquid will come out, and then I'll get this cramping up here. So it's gonna take a lot of washing. It has,
Yeah, consider Akulima board as well.
mhm. Yeah, and the other thing that I think what actually was the toughest part amidst all this, there was a time I was living in Connecticut in Danbury last year, and I was like blocked for a really, really long time, and had fallen like very far off my path, and I couldn't figure things out. And then I finally, I sought out herbalists, and I sought out like my direct path. And that, my parents had like sent me to a therapist and everything like that. And they had been saying like, like you really, really should stick with like doing this. And like, we took your blood work and we're finding that you're anemic, so you need to be eating more. I'm like, that's not why I'm anemic. And so then I just stopped talking to them, and I just went on my path. And that was actually it's very interesting, because when I was in tune way back, I understood and I had remembered so much about like the spiritual correlates of things with the body, but I never knew about parasites at all until last year. And then went on my path and started I got Humbart Santilla's book was like the first thing I got into, and I started researching herbs and putting them together and doing enemas with them. And at one point went into kind of looking into the Gerson approach and everything. And I started passing all these things, and that was the beginning of me realizing wow, oh my God, there are ways through. And then I finally went home, and whenever I was feeling clear and I got into
on the parasites, huh?
Yeah, I need to let go of that.
Yeah, it's the obstructions that are feeding them, whatever. They are there to help you. They process your waste. Don't think of removing them. They will go when you let go of the obstructions. They are there doing their job. Thank them. They're there for a reason.
There's no resistance toward them. And I think what spiraled me down with everything was when to tie up things with my finances, I went back home from Danbury last year after I'd been working up there. And I was living back at home with my family, and I was feeling really good, and I was doing well. And at first my family thought I was really, well, obviously, they thought I was completely out there, and they would always say it to me. But as long as I was pleasant, as long as I was dancing around and just vibrant, it was all okay. But then when my cravings hit and I kind of dipped down a little again, and I just wasn't feeling as good. So I got back in balance, but when I wasn't doing well, there was they have this ultimatum with me where if I'm living there at the house, I'm not allowed to do enemas. I'm not allowed to do anything related to that. So I had to leave. I was I love you. I want to be here. It feels very, very a form of deep home for me here. But then sometimes, although the energy gets very chaotic over there, and jarring, I realized if I can't do what I need to do to honor my body, then this isn't the environment I need to be in. So I had to figure that out somehow. And that was the hard part. But at that time, and then I finally stood my ground and stuff, and they let me go for a while, and then didn't again. And that was kind of where I decompensated, because I kind of felt trapped, and I was well, I'm not feeling good, and I can't do this thing. So I kind of there were times when they weren't there, and I just kind of
yeah, you don't live with them anymore, right?
No, I'm staying with a friend right now, and I have to tie up everything else with my life in terms of financially, debt things I want to go back to school eventually. There was a whole path that my soul really feels I feel I signed up for, that really mattered to me. And it's going to be a journey to
sit down, focus on what matters to you, whether it's whatever it is, work, school, whatever, and your health, of course. So whatever is stressing you, just get it out. Manage your life better, because it's not just your health, it's everything stresses you. Manage your life better, whatever is stressing you.
There was a lot of left toward things that I wasn't seeing, even at times when there was a period of time where it wasn't like me, when at really just as my core self that kind of started to shine through. But then when things got dark, or I got anxious some years back, things spiraled around me. I was watching the law of attraction and all these really intricate ways in the universe, and at one point I shut down because I was viewing things negatively, and I just kept giving up like over and over. And that's where finally, like one day I just woke up with that, and I was like, no. And I finally, my family also had told me that when I was in the hospital for a long time, there were like bills and like this here and there, and coordination of benefits with my insurance, like wasn't taken care of, and like I didn't know. So then like my dad finally showed me at one point. He's like, I have all these bills and I didn't want to show it to you because I didn't want you to get emotional. I was like, no, you could, it's okay, Dad, like I understand why you did that, but you could have showed them to me because I wanted to know everything. So that is a giant pile of karma that I have to tie up, and I can do it, and I'm meant to do it. And yeah, it's a lot of things, but it's my whole life, and I want to take it back, you know?
Yeah, sit down and manage your life better and your finances and everything.
And like because I've been essentially like, even when things got bad and I was just overeating a lot and everything, with how long I've been obstructed, it's been a really, really long time. So and I think this is just the fear in me that's asking the question, even though I kind of feel like I know the answer. You've seen people who've been obstructed for like long periods of time, and they go for colonics and keep going, and eventually it just goes, right? Yeah, I just need to.
Yeah. I
That's
have
a silly question. That was a dumb question, honestly.
Not masterclass clients, like the average person, right? But usually it will not work unless they change their diet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually, it can work, yes. Well, maybe they come once a week and they keep coming until it comes out, whatever is blocking them. Sometimes, you know, first-time clients, they come, nothing comes out, very obstructed, like nothing that I can see. I'm sure it helps, but sometimes I can't even fill them up. The water comes out, it leaks.
It's extremely blocked.
Extremely blocked. I can't even fill them up. Actually, I've like when you're obstructed like that, you're in a very bad shape.
That's what happens with me is
I've seen an 84-year-old with a brain tumor, the father of Gino's friend, and I could not fill him up.
That's what like got to
me. So these are bad signs, and usually they're older people usually that are very obstructive.
And and to be honest, like I think it's important to be vulnerable about it, because that's where I am, is like when I do go to fill up and everything like that, I allow the fluid to go in, but it's like it's hard to even like get it in. And I guess there was a point and
many people experience this on the masterclass, by the way, and
I made myself too. There was where I probably couldn't, and I don't know if this was good, but I made myself just take the fluid in and hold it. And at the last colonic I was at, I held it for a really, really long time.
You can't make it go in. You're misunderstanding. It won't go in. You're blocked. You're blocked. The water just leaks out.
Yeah,
it won't go in.
I mean, it makes a mess all over the place. A mess all over.
It is going in. It's like going in, and then
I'm not obstructed. I have seen many more obstructed people. Is what I'm saying.
She's not blocked. Everybody's obstructed.
Yeah, it's all like it's up. Everything's like up here in the corner, and like there are a lot of times where I'll do enemas, and my friend will just kind of like sit and just like help calm me. Like, I'll do like an enema, and I'll like drink down my fluid and like my juice and everything, and I'll do enemas and I'll release. But then in the middle of me, fluid's just sloshing around everywhere, and it stays in me for a really long time. And it's hard to urinate too.
Would you release anything?
No, not usually. Like one time last week when I showed you.
I'm saying, you said you release liquid, right?
Yeah, the liquid comes out. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the liquid stays in.
Is it dark?
When it comes out, sometimes it's like yellowish, dark. Sometimes it's.
So you're releasing. All right.
Yeah.
If it's colored, it's a release.
Yeah.
If it's just water, then you need to wash more. If you're releasing colored water, you're releasing something. Don't give up. You are releasing. So you're wrong.
You're holding on to mental blocks of fallacy.
You're wrong. You are releasing, sweetheart. Okay. Yes, it's not a big clump. Maybe something big is inside. Okay, it doesn't matter. But you're releasing, and by filling up and releasing yellow liquid, you are breaking that blockage. Whatever is blocking you is up and it's coming out. So you are releasing it. So that's good.
And that's what I need to focus on, is because like my intuition has a vision. Like it knows like kind of like all like what's in here, but I have to not focus on like the, you know, like release the desire for the outcome. Like I want this to come out. It's like, no, when you take it in, stuff comes out, then you just keep going. And it's like, you don't have expectations. Like you can see like where your vision's going, but not force the expectation.
Follow the protocol with zero expectations.
Focus on the
6 months.
process, focus on the lifestyle, focus on doing all parts of the protocol.
Yeah. If you have good feelings, thank God.
These are the solutions, not if you focus on the problems.
Yeah. Forget about all the
Focusing on
past
the problems, you cannot ask yourself, how do we make it better? Focusing on the problems is, how can we make it worse?
Like all these finances and all that. Who can help you? You'll have to sit down and manage your life better. Right? You'll have to sit down.
Emotion is seed. You're holding on to a lot of stuff emotionally, and that's where you have to work with. So you have to focus on the solutions, and then continue with the protocol, and the answers will start coming up for you.
Never give up.
Just follow the protocol.
Never give up. Yeah.
Not like massive fasting is not for everybody. It's a very different lifestyle. Let's put it that way. And most people will never make it a journey and see it through to experience what many of us have experienced, because they start listening to the monkey mind and everybody else's monkey mind.
Brittany,
So they'll never get to the places that we've been and gone to. So how do you get to those places? How do you make it better? Keep asking yourself those questions and let go of everything else and all those illusions and make believe things that are coming out of.
Honestly, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Just calm the mind.
Yeah.
Calm the mind, okay? You don't need to think like that. Forget it. Nothing, none of that is helping you. Okay? If there's something that can help you, use it. That's it. But you're doing absolutely amazing. Follow the protocol as it's outlined without thinking, oh, too much sugar. Forget it. If you have questions about the protocol, you have no faith, you shouldn't do it. Really, shouldn't do it in the first place. Don't do it.
Hello.
Have complete faith that it works, okay? Because if you start questioning this and that and ask that person outside the group or whatever, you're gonna get confused.
Yeah.
Helping you within the group, okay? Just focus and just update us every day how you're doing. You know, briefly, I'm feeling amazing. I mean, my updates every few days is like, I feel amazing or something like that. That's it, a sentence, you know? I don't need to.
Okay.
I don't need to tell people about everything in my day. But,
and I had to let go of the fear too, because there was a part of me, like there's times where, because I'm like so blocked up, that I get like spasms and my heart starts getting involved, and then that's where I get worried. And then I have to I almost ground myself in this really twisted way where I say, okay, well, I'm not afraid of dying, but I definitely am choosing to live like really deeply. And that's where I kind of ground myself, like to just release all fear of whatever happens. Cause it's like, whatever happens in the universe, based on what I knew, like when the universe opened in that time of my life and I woke, and it was just like, the universe always is holding you, you know, like, don't be afraid of things.
Well, you're doing amazing, my dear. You're doing absolutely amazing. Just believe that, okay? Because you are doing very, very well. Love yourself. It's a journey of self-love, and we do our best. We calm our mind and love ourselves, okay? And we're doing amazing, all of us, we're doing amazing. Suzanne, how are you doing? You can talk.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm doing okay. It's very hard to eat every day. Very hard. This hybrid thing, I don't know. I mean, I'm doing it, but.
Are you doing the hybrid?
Yes.
So
fruits. You guys suggested, so that's what I'm doing. And it's hard to eat every day. Oh my gosh, yes.
So you're doing fruits and then vegetables?
Mostly, I have done some vegetables, but boy, I don't like that feeling. Okay. So I'm trying to stick to fruits, you know. I have mostly mangoes, and I got oranges from Arizona.
What is it, sorry?
Orange.
Nice.
So I had those day before yesterday. Anyway, most days I just feel better if I just stick to the fruits. Yesterday I went to my parents' house and I had a sweet potato and it was fine, you know, but today I'm paying the price. It's just, it's just so heavy.
Are you doing a week, once a week drives, or you're not?
I was told, you guys told me not to.
Yeah, but what's your dry window daily now?
Oh, daily. It's between 12 and 14
Okay.
hours.
Are you doing any one day of just liquid?
Yes, even though you guys told me not to.
No, that's okay. Are you doing the green juices, or are you going to the grape?
I've been doing the grape
Okay.
recently.
How does that day feel?
Really good, really good. I just know. I mean, I'm much better than I was a little bit ago when I was in that crisis mode. So as long as I'm sticking to everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and I eat within a really short window, I feel okay.
Yeah.
I feel okay.
You don't want that digestion working all the time. That's where all the problems come. So
Yeah.
continuously, 3-4 meals a day.
So you're doing 1 week, or sorry, 1 day a week of just liquid master fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And that feels the best?
It feels good right now. Yeah.
When you're ready, move to 2 days, and it doesn't have to be 2 days in a row. You know.
Yeah, that's a nice thought with it not being 2 days in a row. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah, that's great.
one every 3 or 4 days, something like that, and see how it goes. Try it, and if it's too overwhelming, back off a little bit, and
Right.
another couple of weeks and try it again, and work with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Easy, slow pace, because there's quite a history with the experiences.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm releasing so much stuff too still. I mean, just black and
Awesome.
and it's awesome. And my colon therapist actually said the other day, she says, "Boy, you are getting a lot of water way up in there now." And she said, "You're doing so good." And that just made me feel so much better. And I wanted to share that with Brittany because I know she's struggling with that too. And I was just, that just raised my anxiety so much because I couldn't release hardly anything, and I kept holding the water. Whew. And it's all emotion. It's just so much emotion. And I'm releasing. I'm finally lessening on the resistance of that. You know what? Come on, let's just do this. Let's go into meditation. I went to see my parents, and whoa. And I just, observe, and just okay, this is very hard to be here, but emotions coming up for a reason. And it's all just part of the process. And I just have to keep that in my mind and keep the meditation going. I know I'm skipping around talking. My brain's jumbled up still, but that's okay. That's okay. It's part of the process.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah, I actually am. And I got to give myself a little pat on the back once in a while because I beat myself up so much. And I'm so hard on myself. And that's just, that emotion just coming out feels so good.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah.
And that helps my bowels work better too.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. And
you can find some really relaxing music while you're doing your
constantly, almost. I do that constantly when I'm home, not. But yeah, but thank you guys. It's and I appreciate everybody's support. And I'm very emotional. I'm just talking about it.
You're doing absolutely.
This is part of releasing.
Yes, it is. And that's my this anxiety. I've realized, wait a minute, this is pent up emotion. I mean, I've been on those antidepressants for years, keeping that stuff out. And now it wants to be seen, felt, and released. And so, I don't know, just a lot of little epiphanies. I'm grateful for every single one. Maybe not right then at the time, but later, it just comes gradually. It's coming gradually.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'm glad you're with us here.
Yes, me too. Yeah, me too.
Melinda, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I don't know how much I'll have to share because I'm just on hybrid, kind of snailing my way through. I just started, but no, it's going really good. Might be a little bit silly that I'm posting kind of what I'm having every single day, but I started it for myself. I figured like, oh, I'll do like a journal and put it online, and
No, it's great. We love it.
actually, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It helps everybody.
It really helps.
Okay, good. Oh, well, I'm glad. I mean, if it helps somebody else too, then that would be great. But I wanted to thank you because you've allowed me to feel comfortable to kind of push myself a little bit further than I normally would have. I was thinking about it and just earlier today, and it reminds me of going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you kind of do your workout, but if you have a trainer or a coach, they'll push you that little extra bit that you actually need to make improvement. Yeah, so it's really helpful. Really, really helpful. Thank you.
Very welcome. Yeah, that's great.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm so happy. You're doing absolutely great.
Thank you. It's really a really big lifestyle change, and but I want it. I'm so excited for this year to see how everything progresses. Yeah.
And how many days are you? When did you start?
So I started looking back into it in November or October, November. And then, watching a lot of the videos and kind of getting my mind into it. And then in December, I decided that I was going to commit to it, whatever that meant for me. So then I was doing a hybrid just on the moon phases and, doing a 12 to 13 hour dry. Sometimes it would be 14, so 12 to 14 hour dries. And, coming on the Zoom calls a couple of times. And then January, I figured, oh, you know what? I'm going to start posting, and I really want to do hybrid. So the last week of December, I started, but I wasn't drinking enough of the juice, and I was eating all day long. And I'm like, oh, but I'm eating fruits, with one cooked meal, and I was having maybe just 500 milliliters and 2 liters of enema per day. So I was really taking it easy on myself. So I'm super happy that I started posting, because I don't think I would have increased the enema waters, the amount of water or the juice, which I found challenging the first couple of days. And when you said like, oh no, 1 liter of juice, I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So then I started doing the 1 liter, and it took me many hours, but I actually found it more pleasant during the day to do that, because then I wasn't thinking like, okay, I'm going to eat this, and then like I have to make sure that I eat all the way until my window, and I don't know what I was doing. So the juice actually fills up the bulk of the day, and then I have my fruit meal, and then I am still having like a small cooked plant-based meal, and then that's it. And yeah, and then the enemas have been the most challenging for me, going from 1 to 2 liters a day to 6 liters. So at first I was, breaking it up throughout the day. And today was the first day that I did it like in one session. And I had such bad cramps today. I don't know if it was because of the pudding It's the first day that I took the pudding, so I don't know if it was like really pulling stuff out, but it felt the same as the cramps that I've gotten before when I go and like eat too much dairy, and then like just everything flares up and the cramping, and I had that kind of cramp when I did my enema. But yeah, so it's doing something.
How much pudding are you taking?
I just took 1 tablespoon. Yeah. And I don't know what you recommend, if I should take it every day, or if, because I was doing the drives, you know, the 14-hour drives, and then I did an 18-hour drive for my weekly instead of 24. I just want to ease into it. And then I figured, oh, the next day I'm definitely going to take the pudding, because if I stir it up a bit more, I want to pull it out. And yeah, so that's kind of where that went. And I was really tired yesterday. And yeah, what was it? No, I took the pudding yesterday. Sorry, I'm already lost. I took the pudding yesterday, and I did a 14-hour dry last night. I've had energy. I felt so good today, but the only thing was the really, really bad cramping with the enema. So I don't know. I don't know what you think.
Your body's releasing something.
Yes, I also noticed over the last little while that I have such a big stick up my butt. Oh my God. I didn't even know it was there. Like, I thought I was a really, you know, down to earth, go with the flow kind of person. And this is really humbling me to realize how much I'm tense, and I have to remind myself, like, oh, relax your shoulders. Oh my goodness, like, relax. It's okay. I'm constantly reminding myself to relax, and I was totally unaware that I even had that tension in me. So it's really something.
Yeah, enemas will teach you a lot.
Yeah, so sorry, I did want to know what you thought about the pudding. Should I take it every day, or should I continue to just take it once a week for now? I do want you to remember that I am pregnant, near the end of my pregnancy, so I don't want to, I don't know. Tell me what you recommend.
You're near the end?
Near the end of my pregnancy, yeah. And I'll be 37 weeks on Monday.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd be doing about 1 tablespoon a day. No
Every
problem.
day? Okay.
Yeah. If it
Okay.
feels a bit too much, something, move it down to 1 teaspoons, right? 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. But I continue taking it because it helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the bones.
Okay. Perfect. Good.
Yeah, I mean, the enemas, yeah, maybe spread them out a little bit. If you
Oh,
have,
okay.
I don't know how much time you have in the day.
I'm off, so I have all day to do whatever I want.
So maybe spread them out if you're having the cramps, just to give you
Okay.
a little break to recover after them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some people think they have to put the water and hold it in a long time. Just continue washing. Fill, dump, fill, dump.
Yeah, you don't have.
For some people, it's uncomfortable to hold, and then they feel like sometimes they can't release. So just, you know, don't worry about holding it too long. Just fill and dump, fill and dump.
Do you add what do you add to your water? Baking soda?
Nothing. Just using distilled water.
Add baking soda to it.
Add baking soda? Okay.
Add,
Or some juice.
Or I'll look online. I guess you have it online there, how much to put.
yeah, it's
I'll take a look at it.
it's 1
Perfect. Okay, so you think it might be better if I do spread them out, like do 2 liters and then like later do another 2 liters and another 2 liters.
If you can, yeah, just to be a little bit more gentle.
Okay. Yeah. I was crawling to the toilet with the cramps, and I felt like after the whole thing I was like hot, and I had to recover from, like, I don't know,
That happens.
this event that happened.
Add baking soda. I wouldn't do this. Yeah, just baking soda to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep us posted.
I will.
Exciting.
Yes.
Euros. How are you doing?
Hey everyone. Tour is doing great, everything, you know, daily routine going on. and I was fasting 3 days, eating 3 days, fasting 3 days, and I actually started fasting yesterday, and I really remember how we talked about releasing emotions. I really focused on releasing emotions on this fast that I started yesterday, and basically I was asking, universe to hit me where it hurts, to really get to my heart, and I woke up today feeling really weird. I had this dream, it was all blurry, and I just automatically started typing on my desktop, pulling up the song that I had a dream of. And it was a really stupid song. You probably all know that song. It's called Last Christmas by George Michael or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and immediately I started remembering, when I was a kid, 12 years old, ice skating, holding hands with this girl I had, romantic feelings for, and I was just breathtaking by the nostalgic feeling and emotions. I was so shaken, and I was holding up my heart with my hand. It was burning, and it felt like tearing apart. So I really couldn't breathe. You know, it really got me. All tears in my eyes, and I was really shaken, and I'm still shaken, even though it happened in the morning. So I immediately went and bought some pasta, bought like spaghetti and tomato sauce, and I broke my like 40 hour fast with spaghetti. I really couldn't believe what was happening to me, and it was really interesting to see me lose control completely. I was taken so hard by this experience because I was really around, when I was entering the fast, and I didn't do enemas the day before this yesterday. I didn't do enemas, and I just woke up really feeling fuzzy. I couldn't remember what I was dreaming about, and I heard a song, this stupid song, and wow, it was. I was really, taken back by this emotions and so much stuff because I really want to concentrate it on, purging emotions since Christmas is just around the corner, and um, I am actually going to my home for Christmas, lunch, get together, family, and I just wanted to be, free of all the emotions before I come. It's on the 7th of January.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, here in Serbian Orthodox Christmas. So I'm already prepared, to pick up my coat and leave the second they come there. Yeah, that's what's up. I was really shaken by this experience. It was really weird.
Yeah, well, you have a gauge now, your tooth, and you can.
Sorry?
Your new gauge. You have a tooth now. That's your gauge. You'll feel certain things happening, the way you eat and stuff.
Obstructions.
Well, I didn't feel any pain when I was eating spaghetti. I just have a headache, and it hurts when I breathe really in the stomach because I just breathing it, right. So when I exhale, it kind of feels not so comfortable. I mean, I'm so dehydrated immediately after eating salt for. Was not eating any salt for months, you know, and I do this, so really stupid, and I'm really regretting it because this was a perfect opportunity to me to meditate, or I don't know, do some showers, or
Don't worry about it. Just wash your colon. Get back on track.
yeah, do some enemas. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. How could I,
It's okay. Just
you know, let happen to me?
morning.
I mean, I was already sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying tomorrow morning.
The connection was bad on my end.
Yeah, I'm saying just wash your colon.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, first thing in the morning. I'm really always waiting up at least 8 hours after eating before I do enema, because it really doesn't feel natural to do an enema before
and it
that
doesn't
time window.
and it's not gonna come on. It has to. You have to give it time.
Right.
You have to give it time.
Exactly. So I guess I'm just gonna, wash my colon and
So you're going
prepare better next time.
You're going to your mom's?
Yeah, my mother and my whole family is gonna be there.
And your dad as well?
Yeah.
Your mom and dad are together, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you have a brother?
2 brothers.
Brothers. No sisters?
No sisters, right?
Wow. 3 brothers.
I'm the middle.
You're the middle.
I'm the middle one. Yeah.
I'm the middle.
I'm the middle.
I guess I broke my fast with the pasta because my dad is Italian and we always ate a lot of spaghetti when I was a kid growing up. So I don't know, when I was a kid, 12 years old, yes, guess what? What I was eating, a lot of pasta. So
lots of love in pasta. It's the home food. Your father was the cook at home?
Well, I guess both of them kind of did the cooking, yeah.
He's the cook for pasta.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened, and I was really feeling negative about the whole, world situation right now when that desire, go back to those times when I was a kid, and the world right now doesn't seem to be a happy place, because this is a paradigm shift. When we are taken back with this negative emotions, everything around us becomes black. And I mean, I quit my job. It was really strange experience. I was working at a customer care, and it was really strange. You have to be kind to people, and it's very unnatural to me. And I mean, this was excessive in my opinion, and it was forced. So I remember I just was talking to people, and of course I'm trying to solve their issues, over the phone. And at the end of the call, I would say to them, happy holidays, or take care, or Merry Christmas. And I was just thinking today, like, people are paying money so somebody will be kind to them. That was the impression I got today. I was thinking about it. Are people paying for kindness? Are people paying for friendships? Everything seemed very unnatural today.
Well, people are, because they fall into the materialism, and they believe that money can buy things like that, which you can't. Like we see it out there, what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very interesting.
I mean, I was before I, had this transformation. I was studying political sciences, and I enjoyed reading all the political theory and philosophy and stuff like that. But I just woke up one day and I realized where I was going. I was gonna close myself into a box, and maybe I am aware. I'm politically conscious, about what is happening out there. Since I did go to college. Oh shit, the battery is empty.
Wow.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, I guess I just dropped out of college and I want to be doing the agriculture, type of thing. Yeah, and everything is cheap here in Serbia. I was like doing the calculations, and with you can buy house and
We lost him.
Maybe the
Battery.
battery.
I heard the
Yeah,
the vibration of the phone. Conked out. What time is it? Wow, man, we're getting out to 3 hours again. Time flies. Time flies. Give it a couple minutes, see if he returns. Yeah, his phone died. So we've had another blast. Always something interesting comes up on these calls. Just
Thank you guys for sharing. It's really, it helps everyone.
Yeah, there's people waiting for these to listen to these calls, and instead of joining, they're waiting to listen to the calls.
And it's nice for us to, to interact as well and help each other,
Yeah, I know the time changes and so on and so forth. He's back. Uros. Can you hear us? Unmute if you can hear. Hello? Unmute.
right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was talking about how you can afford really everything here is affordable. You can for $6,000 you can get a house. With all the plumbing and all the the solar panels or
6,000
everything you need to do.
Wow.
You can get like for 6 to 10,000
for a house.
Yeah, and 1 acre of land.
We can't even pay our freaking taxes.
Yeah, I mean, I know the drill.
Wow. That's like 100 times less than here, right?
Oh, jeez.
And I'm having hard time, saving up. I don't know. I mean, I got like $1,000 here, and I'm thinking about buying the land, and I can buy like 10,000 square meters.
Wow, what's the wages like? What do people make a month? Average.
Well, I was making about 500,
Okay.
and that was like above the average.
Okay, but with 500, a house costs 10 grand. That's way more leverage than we
That's
have.
still,
Way
that's still
more.
very good. And how's the cost of living? Is it okay? Like, I mean, like food and electricity and stuff like that. I think there is an echoing. I think
Yeah.
other device. Maybe just
You have another device on.
maybe close the speaker or whatever.
I don't know how to sort this out because my phone is actually turned off.
Oh,
You signed up in two places.
weird. Maybe the phone is on and you don't know. Is it completely off? Oh, we lost him. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you, but we can't see you on this one. Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry for that thing back then. I was having to browse. Yeah.
Oh, you
Can
had
you
two
hear me?
browsers. No big deal.
Yeah. So yeah, agriculture is really, my big passion, and you gotta live your passion.
Yeah.
I guess this is what I'm striving for. There's nothing I can do else in this world. I just wanna, plant fruit trees and live off my land.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And cheap.
There's so much you can learn about that. Like permaculture, right? There's so much you can learn.
What do you pay for
Yeah, it's so easy.
juice?
It's less than $1.
$1
for 1 liter.
That's for
For a liter.
that's high.
It's good.
Yeah, and fasting is a luxury for me. Tinctures and the juice is kind of expensive, and I know this is funny for you, but it is. I get plasma pudding, so it's so expensive for me. I really honor every day of fasting, and I really appreciate. I'm really grateful for being able to afford fasting. But in order to fast, I need to keep working. This is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we all got to do something to keep paying the bills.
You guys need to go, come to Serbia. You
Yeah.
can live here like kings. Everything here is cheap. I was, and when I was transitioning into fruits and raw veggies, I was like eating apples and salad. I was like doing the cheapest thing you could buy, like for euro, $1, you can buy like 3 kilos of apples.
Nice.
So, and this is, we're talking good quality apples, like local, like.
Are you guys part of EU?
No,
No.
we're not part of EU, but we are in Central Europe. It's really like we are surrounded by EU.
Right.
it's strange because our people in cities, they're very educated. They're very, they all know like 2 or 3 languages, and really, like educated and working for this low salary. It's people are just getting by,
Yeah. Oh, just like
really.
everywhere else.
Yeah, I, we're definitely, um, experiencing the crisis of capitalism with all the taxes. Especially you guys have, like, in US and Canada, a lot of taxes, land of taxation, and it used to be a free country, you know Boston Tea Party, just for taxing the tea.
Yeah. We got a lot of taxes up here in Canada.
It's unreal.
Politicians.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
I guess we can call it a close.
Thank you guys for joining us. It's always nice to catch up. Thank you.
Yep, it's awesome.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody, or good day.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and your love.
Enjoy the next week.
Yeah.
See you on the page.
Good night, all.
Ciao,
Love you
ciao.
guys. Bye-bye.